Hey there, thank you so much for staying with us on our morning programs here, our signature program in the morning on TV, our world starting point. Just a perfect place to be to start off your days. I'm Rahmat Idris, my partner here.
Audrey Toyo, and just before this, Rahman, we were discussing of how we have a truly special guest in our studio, and we'll be discussing about jazz music. And have you ever heard, you listen to a lot of jazz music?
I listen to a lot of range of music that suits your ear, and jazz is definitely one of them. It's what they say, music for the higher level of listening, because it incorporates all of these distinctive musical instruments, from vocals to the musical instruments, which are really intricate and just a different level of arts, if I may say.
That's true, and most people say that it is one of the highest form of art, and we are
expensive ones too. It's like the ballet of dances.
And so it's always wonderful and great to discover new jazz professionals. And right here in the studio, we have someone who has traveled and studied all the way from New York City in the US, and he is an incredible Indonesian jazz musician and pianist. We have in the studio Nial Djuliarso. Good morning, Nial.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hello.
Pardon our energy. We know you're so calm. But this is
Friday, though.
I'm on TV.
Yeah, yes, you are. Thank you so much for joining us for the conversation this morning. We know that you have achieved so much in your life. First of all, allow us to introduce you to our audience, to our viewers out there, by asking you the questions. How did you start your plethora of achievements in music by going to the US?
Okay, so I think at age 3, my parents decided to enroll me in a piano lesson.
Starting at 3 years old?
Yes.
Wow.
And but I did not like it until I was about 15. So it was
more like because my parents asked me to do it.
Yes, yes. And then actually I sort of quit when I was 11 years old, and I focused on tennis.
Tennis?
Wow.
For 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so what was the turning point for you to like it at 15?
Yeah.
My dad took me to a Pat Metheny concert. He is an American jazz guitarist, and a local promoter here, Chico Hendarto, brought him to the tennis indoor Senayan.
Oh, and you were still passionate about tennis at that time?
Yeah, sort of transitioning, but yeah, my dad took me to that concert, and I fell in love with jazz.
That's when you started to see the light. How beautiful jazz music is.
Wow, and so at that point, did you decide that this was going to be your end-all be-all, like you wanted to pursue it, or were you just like, okay, let me see how this goes, but I'll still like study something else? Yeah,
no, I was really interested in learning it, but I should also say, yeah, unfortunately, in the beginning, I was bullied from 5th grade to 9th grade or so.
Here in Indonesia?
Yeah, in Jakarta, at school. So my escape was music and tennis.
Well, that's good that you find such a positive outlet to your, for lack of a better word, to your bullying period at schools, which I think at some point a lot of us experienced that too, and probably a lot of our viewers out there too. And what sort of inspired you to turn to music despite being bullied at schools? And
yeah, I think I just so I became a loner, and then I sought like a refuge, or like music was my friend. Music is the one friend that I can always
your happy place.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
And I mean, like at that time, like, did it actually give you more inspiration to create music? Because I learned that, a lot of artists, especially during their time when they would just kind of like be alone at some time, it gave them even more drive to pursue music.
Yeah, because it's a solitary activity, usually practice by yourself, and it's not always fun. Maybe you want to play with your friends, but I didn't have many friends, so.
You just escaped into the beautiful music, the beautiful world of music. Yeah. So what sort of musical instruments did you first which first piqued your interest, Nial? From all of these choices that we know, very intricate in jazz.
Yeah, started with the piano.
Okay.
And yeah, actually, my auntie was a famous pianist and composer here in Jakarta, Trisuci Kamal. So I was introduced and exposed to the piano through her as well. And my father was a big jazz fan.
So these influences around you sort of motivated you towards piano and jazz music.
And yeah, I should say, I think I was gifted with an ear. I mean, I can hear like melodies, and I can play them back because.
Oh, wowza! That is a gift.
So you have perfect pitch?
Not all the time, but more like I can tell intervals.
Unlike me, so.
I mean,
I miss pitches all the time. So.
Yeah. So we
very peachy guy I am. So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Continue, please. Yeah. Sorry for
we went to an amusement park as a family. Maybe I was 5 years old at the time, and then when we came home, I started playing the theme song.
Theme songs of the park.
Yeah, maybe like Dufan or.
And you don't even know, like, I don't know what you call it music, but all of these notes and everything about the music.
Music sheets.
The music sheets that brings you into the melody, so you can play it back.
No, yeah, it was
That's
just by ear, and then yeah, my parents heard that, and they said, well, yeah, this kid has been given a gift, so we should.
That is the gift. The gift of remembering melody and putting that through the piano. The gift of ears and heart, if I may say, because that should go together there.
Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, I didn't really enjoy it until 15. And also my dad played in cafes like as a hobby. He played electric bass, so he would take me to the places where he performed. And
he's also a performer, your father.
Yeah, he was both an engineer and a musician.
An engineer who plays music.
That's a deadly combo.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. And I mean, do you think that these musical influences that you've had from your father and your aunt as well kind of impacted you as well to eventually want to be a musician?
Yeah, no, I think the turning point was the concert in 1996 that Pat Metheny.
That tennis court.
Yeah. My father was actually very surprised with my reaction. He didn't think I would like just turn into like a jazz freak.
Was it because you've never been to such a concert, or just simply because that particular jazz concert was so good?
Yeah, was it just Pat?
Yeah, I think the improvisation of Pat and the band, the musical interaction between him and the band members, like caught my interest.
Which was another level of excitement for you to embark upon, if I may say. Wow. Okay. So after the age of 15, and you found your passion and your interest for jazz music, particularly piano still at the time, where does the journey begin from that point on?
Okay. So I was told that, I mean, to America, but I was told that when I was young, my father mainly, he had planned to send me to America at the age of 15 or 16. So the concert was in May or June, and then in August I came to America for high school.
May or June, and then in August you were off to the US. That's quite a short span of time. And you made your decision right away. I'll do it.
Yeah, I mean, we're not really rebels at the time, so we just kind of followed
along with the directions of your parents.
Whether there was a concert or not, it was.
You were still going to go to the U.S.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was his plan that to send me there.
And in the U.S., and we're going to talk about more about this later, but in the U.S., did you go straight into becoming a musician, or did you study there first?
I started in 10th grade in high school. Yeah, in Tennessee.
Started high school
in Tennessee.
In Tennessee.
Just
There's a lot of jazz musicians in Tennessee, right? I watched like movies, and these very talented jazz musicians are based in Tennessee as well.
Yeah. Every state have
their own jazz community,
jazz scene, but Tennessee is known for its country music. Actually,
country actually.
Country, Tanto Yahya likes to go there.
Exactly.
To Nashville.
He's a regular here at TVRI. Yes. He has his own show. Okay.
But no, so it was just a regular high school, but I started playing at restaurants also during that time, or at the time.
So you're still building up your music skills and passions, even though you were still in high school at that time. I cannot wait to hear more about what after high school was for you. Yes. We do have a short break coming in, Audrey, right?
Yes, we do. Stay tuned. We are going to talk more with Nial about this, about his journey, and especially how he got to Juilliard and many other well-known prestigious schools in the U.S. just after this. Stay tuned, only on Starting Point.
Watching Starting Point here on TVR World, we are still in conversations with a Juilliard graduated musicians, Nial Djuliarso, or I should say Nial Djuliarso.
Yeah,
welcome again to our next segment of the conversations. We're very happy to have you here this morning.
Thank you. Likewise, I'm also wearing a Juilliard.
There, show us the T-shirt, man.
Yes, you need to show us the T-shirt.
Yeah, that's the very shirt that authenticated his tenure, not tenure, is studying at the Juilliard, which will later be given to one of the presenters, not Audrey.
As a gift?
As a gift. Continue on.
Yes, and well, now that you have the Juilliard shirt on, we need to know. Please tell us more. What is your story of getting into Juilliard? I heard that you were also in Berkeley before that. And especially, all these schools are prestigious music schools that people, I mean, not only, even Americans would, find
it hard to get in.
Yes, they would really fight their way to get in. And you come all the way from Indonesia, one of the people who is accepted in the jazz program. So please tell us more about that.
Okay, I guess just a little bit about jazz. It was music coming from the African Americans, right? And so it took a very long time for it to have a footing in higher institution. So the music started around 1900, but I think the first jazz program in U.S. college was in North Texas University, and that was maybe in the 50s or 60s, it was not welcomed right away. So if teachers hear you playing jazz, actually they may ask you to stop and stop playing. So Juilliard did not have a formal jazz program until 2001. Before it was just a classical school. It had some
It's a relatively young major then.
Yes.
The history of Juilliard.
Yeah. And Wynton Marsalis, trumpet player, was the head of the program in the beginning because he was an alum of the school. And then I entered in 2004.
To Juilliard. So tell us the process of being able to enroll in Juilliard. As Audrey said, it is one of the hardest schools to get in by the American citizens, let alone for international students. So what sort of fit and proper test did you have to go through to be accepted at the school? I don't know if it's called fit and proper test, but just the test to get in.
Rigorous
Share
process.
the tips, please, for those who are inspired to follow suit.
So I was already at Berkeley College of Music in Boston, studying for my bachelor's degree. And then I don't think they have a quota of how many musicians they will take at Juilliard, but they started with just 18 musicians.
Wow.
Two pianists and just enough people to form a...
Pianist?
Yeah.
I guess the quota is your level of talent.
I mean, that's true,
right?
yes.
That's what gets you into the quota.
Yeah, maybe. But when I got in 2004, if you know Jonathan Batiste, who wrote the music for Soul, I think.
Yeah.
He was also a student there. We entered together. He's a few years younger than me.
Jonathan, as in John Batiste?
John Batiste, yeah.
Wow, okay. I didn't know John was for Jonathan.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
But he comes from a musical family in New Orleans. Yeah. But so it's a two-step process. First, I sent in a CD at the time. Yeah.
A CV.
A CD.
A CV. Yeah. Okay. A CD of your performance.
Yeah. There were some required songs, like 6 or 7 songs. And if you pass that, then they invite you to audition live.
So you'll perform in front of the
panel of judges.
The panel of judges, the teachers and stuff.
Oh. Yes. And my program, the Artist Diploma program, is a full tuition program. It's covered by the school. So if you get in, it's automatically free tuition.
Wow.
You're just there to nurture your talent and for them to, no need to think about finances and stuff, let alone New York, you know. So.
Yeah, although we had to pay for our living costs, but at least not for the
tuitions.
Wow, that's incredible.
The best part was my private lesson with Kenny Barron.
Kenny Barron.
Wow. He's around 80 years old now, but he's one of my idols, and I got to study.
How did it come to be to have a private tutoring with a Kenny Barron? How did you slink your way into his private classes?
That's
a good question. I'd love to know, yes.
He's part of the piano faculty at Juilliard, so maybe there were like 2 or 3 jazz piano teachers, and you can pick who you want to study with. So in a week you have like 5 or 6 different classes. So one of them is your private lesson. Then you'll have an ensemble class, like a band class, and arranging class, and music business class.
Wow.
Different.
So do you learn to play other musical instruments in Juilliard, or was it solely on piano?
Yeah.
Just piano.
Just the piano.
Yeah, just piano.
But you do other types of musical instruments as well, right?
Well, I'm starting to sing again. And before I was playing a little guitar, but not so much now.
Okay. So piano, guitar, and the vocal cords.
Jazz singing, which I heard it's quite big in jazz to improvise and singing and scatting, and that is something that we will talk about in our next segment.
Request for a performance.
Yes, request for. And, we are really excited for that.
Right.
So stay tuned on Starting Point. We'll just have a super short break. Stay tuned in a minute.
Thank you for still being with us on today's program of Starting Point here at TVR World. We're still with a very, very talented musicians, a Juilliard in New York graduated musicians of Nial Djuliarso.
Yes, Nial, again, thank you for being here in our program, and it's been such a lovely conversation. And just before the break, we gave a little bit of a hint that you are going to show us some jazz techniques. So, speaking about jazz singing, what is jazz scatting, the term we've heard?
Okay, I heard this vocalist, Ella Fitzgerald. She was on a recording session, and she had her lyrics in front of her. I forgot the song she was recording, but the paper fell. And then she didn't want to stop the recording, so she just started making different noises, like doobie 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 doo.
Wow.
So
that's how it started, the art of scatting?
That's what I read. Like
okay.
So and then basically you just, if you're playing the song, you just scat in the form of the song.
So is it like melodies on top of the song?
Yeah, you can instead of saying like "fly me to the moon," you can go "love me do 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 do."
There you go.
Yeah.
A sneak peek of what's to come. But did you have to go through a certain vocal trainings to be able to scat properly? I mean, everyone can just do a do, but to do it melodiously, harmoniously, and then sing with the available music, or if there's no available music, what's the trick to that?
Yeah, I think we all study the masters. We just copy Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Armstrong and whoever else we like Miles Davis and Chet Baker
And develop from there.
Yeah, we copy what
having listened to all of these artists.
Yeah,
wow.
copy what they did.
Well,
all right, before we go into the scatting, more about the scatting, I'd like to know, maybe the audience also would like to know, because it is hard to get performance slots or time in the US, and you've studied in Juilliard and prior to that in Berkeley, but you've also performed in different places in the USA. So what are the highlights there that you can share with us?
Okay, I think Carnegie Hall was one.
wow.
Yeah.
Carnegie Hall?
It was. There's actually 3 different halls inside the building, and I performed in the smaller one called Weil Recital Hall.
What did you perform there?
It was with my trio, like piano, bass, and drums. I think in 2003, they have this program called the Professional Training Workshops. I applied as a band, and my band got selected. There were like 6 other bands, and we were coached for a week or 2, and then at the end of the program, we performed there.
Oh goodness,
That's amazing.
that is amazing.
I mean, Carnegie Hall.
For all of the kids out there here in our country and probably watching outside of Indonesia as well, Nial, what would you tell them if they want to pursue their musical passions in the US?
Okay, yeah, being an artist is tricky, I think, because we don't have a regular schedule, like if you work at an office. But if you have to love it, I think you have to really love it, because yeah, there's gonna be many drawbacks, or yeah, things will not always go smoothly.
There will always be challenges. It is the way to overcome those challenges. And talk about challenges, allow me one more question before we go to the performance, Audrey, which is something that you briefly mentioned at the beginning of our conversations, that at some point during your teenhood, or probably childhood, you were exposed to bullying, as I did as well at a certain point in time during my childhood. And this is a common case. A lot of bullying are still taking place, particularly here in our country. And not only the bullying, but also something that is followed by crime, if you may say. So for all of those kids out there who are being bullied right now and are watching our program, what would you tell them? Because you are someone who departed from being bullied, and look how far you've come. Look how many achievements you made in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like I was lucky because I had music and tennis, but I hope you can find something that you really enjoy doing, and then you can just focus your energy to that subject.
Right.
Yeah. And,
so build your talent, something that you're passionate, something positive, not just the mobile agent thing. So, because that's something that a lot of these kids are escaping into right now.
Like really honing your craft. As well.
Yeah. Like maybe you like to read books. You can just read books.
Be an author or something. Yeah.
That is beautifully said. That. Thank you very much, Nial. And now.
And before we go
I was already with my and now, ladies and gentlemen.
I would really love to know more about, as you mentioned, Indonesia. I think that's a topic I want to touch upon a bit here, because, jazz is quite rare in Indonesia. And especially having someone who is really accomplished in New York City, the epitome, the place of jazz, is quite extraordinary. I heard also that you used to wear batik while
Oh, yes. Yeah, I wanted to ask you that as well.
Yes.
Okay.
How did that happen?
Yes. Okay. So I think I had an identity crisis because I came to America when I was 15 or 16.
Okay.
You know? So and I spent about 20 years there before I came back in 2018. But so I at one point I asked myself, you know, who am I? What's my root? You know, roots. And so actually in Indonesia people call me Nial, right? And then in America they call me Nial.
Oh, okay. Without the horn, there's no horn at that time. There's only Nial, right? So,
Nial Djuliarso.
Nial Djuliarso.
Yeah. So yeah, because it's easier because there's dial already. So Nial. So I went with that until 2009, and then I changed it to Nial, and people were having a hard time, I think.
To adjust. No, it's harder for us to call you Nial. As well.
Yeah. So that was also around the time I started wearing my batik because
to distinguish yourself from other students, because you can easily pass for international students if not choosing for Indonesia as your identity.
Right. Yeah, and to show where my roots
you come from.
Yeah, where I come from, and so that was the original reason, and I did that for about 3 years, I think.
How often do you wear batik?
Every day.
Every day.
Oh, not just Tuesday and Friday like we do here.
Not just on Fridays. Wow.
No, like
Oh,
every
good.
day.
What do people comment on your batik? Because I don't think it's a common outfit or attire to wear on a daily basis.
Right. Yeah, in the band, I was playing in a quintet, and but
During the performance, you would also wear batik.
yeah, and I think we had I was not the band leader, but the band leader said it was okay. So I always looked different than the other band members. Looking back, I don't know if that was a good idea because everyone was wearing suits, right? And then I was wearing a batik. But the drummer ended up buying a batik.
Wow.
Oh, wow. So you, at least batik has made great impressions by you wearing it throughout your performance.
Yeah.
Wow, Audrey and Nial, we almost out of time, but as we say, it's time for me to say and now, because as we know, we are highly anticipating your performance, something that you can show us at the end of the program. And we know that you're a vocalist, not only a piano player, but Audrey is also a vocalist. Set the stage for us, please. For those out there, this is a bit of a tidbit from our trivia. They are singing together at many different performances, so that should have the chemistry already.
I mean, Nial is like my mentor
Oh,
and like somebody I really look up to, and so
Let's come up with something.
it's we would love to hear you scat.
Yeah, we'll try a duet on "Fly Me to the Moon." Yeah.
Fly Me to the Moon.
Yeah. So like, in other words, please be true, shoo-doo-doo. In other words, I love you, shoo-doo-doo.
Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars.
Shoo-ba-doo-doo-ba-doo-doo.
Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars.
Shoo-ba-doo-ba-doo-doo.
In other words, hold my hand.
Shoo-doo-ba-doo-dee-dee-ah.
In other words, baby, kiss me.
Shoo-doo-ba-ba-doo-ba-doo-boo. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore.
You
Shoo-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-doo.
are all I long for, all I worship and adore.
Shoo-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-doo.
In other words, please be true.
Shoo-ba-doo-dee-dee-ah.
In other words,
I love you. Da-da-da-ba-da-da.
Wow. Let me clap everything I can clap, my hands and my feet as well. Kudos to you guys.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful performance. And Audrey, You should do that on a daily basis on Starting Point.
Just start off the program.
That was golden. Thank you very much.
Nial.
Thank you.
Nial Djuliarso, we wish you all the best for your future endeavors, and we hope that you'll stop by again sometime at our Starting Point, and we'll do more with when we have a grand piano or something to showcase your talent. This has been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
Really enjoyed. Thank you so much again, Nial. We're very sure we'll see you again really soon.